Friends, last year your dollar lost a ton of value. Inflation rose by almost 7% in just 1 month toward the end of the year. And that means in 30 days, your dollar became 93 cents. Inflation is a silent killer. It is a hidden tax that is felt by everyone. And this administration, yes, the Resident's Day, is only making it worse. Inflation is not slowing down, it's escalating quickly. So gold provides a hedge against inflation and can protect your family's wealth. Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust for investing in gold and silver, and they also do a lot of other investments like cryptocurrency. You need to diversify your portfolio. So you have to take this seriously, friends. Oil prices are rising. We've seen supply chain issues, and all of this is going to compound our inflation problems. You can trust Legacy Precious Metals because they give you unbiased counsel that is based off of your personal situation. So you can speak to an IRA expert at Legacy Precious Metals at 866-528-1903 or download the free investor's guide at legacypminvestments.com. That's legacypminvestments.com, or call them at 866-528-1903.
As a constitutional law attorney, former senior legal advisor, and personal counsel to President Donald J. Trump, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
All right, so joining me now is Ian Smith, who is running for Congressional District 3 from the great state of New Jersey, but you also know him as one of the gym owners who refused to close during the shutdown and really just pushed back against all of this petty tyranny. So Ian, thanks so much for joining me. And I just wanted to ask you, for people who aren't familiar with your story, or maybe, through all of this crazy COVID nonsense, just to give them a refresher of what you did during COVID to push back against the petty tyrants.
Sure. So I'll try to make that as concise of an answer as possible, but it's been going on for 2 years now. So just like everybody, we got that initial order to shut down here in New Jersey. That was in March 16th of 2020. And, my business partner, Frank, and myself, we were very skeptical of the idea. We were a brand new business. We had only been open for 9 months. We bought a failing business. So we had been kind of putting in 100-hour weeks and really made this place work. So when somebody came and told us to shut down, we were very skeptical. But we didn't know enough to confidently say no. So what we did was we just kept working, and we had plenty of stuff to do at the gym while we were shut down. But what we started to do was we started to pay attention to the science and the politics that were guiding these decisions. Because if somebody walks into our life and takes everything from us in the name of safety, we wanted to understand not only what we were being kept safe from, but who decided that they were going to keep us safe. And very quickly, the science and the politics did not make sense. There was red flag after red flag after red flag. There are so many that you could name, but the biggest one for us was the $2.6 trillion economic stimulus bill that was passed on day 11 of 14 when we were supposed to be reopening the country after 14 days. And they guarantee people $600 extra a week to stay at home and to be afraid of coronavirus. So for us, that was the breaking point. We were already getting sick and tired of it, watching, on our way home from work, passing, big shopping malls, seeing these big box stores that were just allowed to operate with almost no safety procedures in place, and watching, all of the stores in this strip mall here where Attilas is, shuttered down, and many of those places sold the same product. So we were already kind of there, but then when we saw that, we said, okay, we're going to reopen. But we're going to do so in a manner that is safe and that does take public health into accountability and isn't just this reckless opening of the doors. We're going to take COVID seriously. So we spent the next 6 weeks totally studying everything that we could. My business partner, Frank, is extremely smart, much smarter than me. And he was able to digest a lot of the science that was coming out that was not what was being shown in the news, because on the news, it just had the death counter on the screen and mayhem and craziness. And there's no real science. So we were looking at studies from PubMed.com, from early treatment options to mitigation factors to anything that we could possibly learn about COVID-19. And at the same time, we were paying attention to the politics. So Over the next 6 weeks, we put together a comprehensive 15-point safety protocol, and we put it out publicly 1 week before we opened. And we put out this sort of video where I sat in front of the camera and I talked for 9 minutes, and I told the world that we were going to reopen our business, and that we had a safety protocol, and that it was extensive, and that we wanted to share it with people because we encouraged others to do the same thing. That got the attention of Tucker Carlson, went on the news, told the rest of the world that we were going to reopen, and we did 1 week later. From day one, it was an escalation of force by the government. The first thing they did, they tried to give us some citations, and we ignored them. Day two, people got arrested, and more citations were given out, and it just kept escalating from there. All said, we had over 85 municipal citations, 9 criminal charges. We've had our business license stripped from us without due process. We've been arrested. We've had members arrested. We've had our doors forcibly locked, and our locks changed. We've had our doors boarded up. We've had to take our doors off of the hinges for 40 days and stay open for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that they couldn't lock our doors. We have over $2 million in fines, a total of 300,000 of that has been cleared by the courts. 173,000 of that has been already taken forcibly from our bank accounts. We've had our business pierced, the LLC pierced, and the remainder of those fines, should the state ever try to go and collect them, Frank and I are personally liable for. Let me see if I'm missing anything. I think that's it. But at the end of the day, we stayed open every single day. We just kept opening the gym no matter what they did. And we've had to date over 364,000 visits to our facility, and no COVID outbreaks have been linked to us. We have the paper trail with a voluntary contact tracing system that we put into place just to prove the state wrong. And we've given them multiple invitations to come and look through that and try to link an outbreak to us. And they have yet to get back to us on that. But the gym's open every single day. We have no less than 600 healthy, happy people coming through our door every single day. We don't mandate anything. We don't mandate masks. We don't mandate vaccines. We don't discriminate. And we still don't charge our members. We suspended our billing on April 1st of 2020 during the original shutdown. And when we reopened, we did not charge our members because it wasn't about the money. It was about the principle. And we just wanted to be open and prove that we could do it safely. And then when the state took our business license, we have been unable to charge. So we exist entirely on donations and T-shirt sales from not only our members, but people around the world. And, it's a fight that we're committed to. We are coming on year 2 of it now, and we're in 3 different courts, but we're making our way slowly but surely.
Yeah, so that was my next question, actually. So you're in 3 different courts. Where are the legal battles now? What's the posture of the cases?
So it's amazing how quickly the courts can move when they want to move against you. And it's as equally as amazing how slowly they move when you want to move against them. So we're in the sort of slow, dull part. We were in 4 courts altogether. Criminal court, where we had criminal charges. We recently just pled guilty to them. It was not worth our time and our energy and the limited amount of financial resources that we have. The question in that court was, did we violate a judge's court order to stay closed? Not, was that a valid court order?
Right.
So we just pled guilty. We were guilty as charged. We took the doors off the hinges. We did it purposely. We would do it again. So we got a year of probation for that. So that kind of wrapped up one thing. And then we have the appeals court, where all of the state action, all of the fines and everything that came against us, which came from that court order, all of the civil penalties, we're in the appeals court for that, trying to appeal the fines, the remainder of them that are left, as well as the ones that they unlawfully took from our bank account. So we just recently filed a motion for appeal. And we're waiting on a reply, which is 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. It pings pong back and forth. We are in the appeals court. Yes, it does.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, and I know that people listening to this right now are saying, Oh my gosh, you are just one gym owner, one American who just simply stood firm and said, this is ridiculous. So, do you have a legal defense fund? Can people support that and give to you or give to the gym?
Yeah, if you go to the gym website, it is theatilisgym.com. And Atilis is spelled Atilis. There's a link. We originally had a GoFundMe, and it has been since changed over to a Give Send Go.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
that's how we mount our legal defense. That and T-shirt sales. We've sent T-shirts to all 50 states several hundred times over, and to actually 18 countries around the world. That's something we're incredibly proud of. The amount of support that we've gotten has been the only reason that we've been able to get this far.
And I just have to commend you and your business partner. I mean, talking about piercing the corporate veil, I mean, for those who are listening, that's actually kind of a really big deal. I mean, that puts you on the line personally, not just your business. And so, that's something that you're basically saying, that you're willing to stand firm even if it hurts you personally, which obviously this whole entire experience for the last 2 years has. But it takes Americans like you who just stand up and say, this is ridiculous. This isn't about science, it's about political science. And standing firm and saying, no, we are willing to stand no matter what it takes. And that's why I think they come harder after people like you, because you have national attention and are encouraging other people to stand firm and saying, hey, if a regular guy like you who has a gym and who just has a business can look down the street and say, okay, well, why is a big box store open and I'm not allowed to? That hypocrisy, that it doesn't make sense. And you even question and then stand against those petty tyrannical rules, that encourages other people to do that. And so I commend you for standing firm. And now you're running for Congress, which I think is amazing. I've been saying to people on this show for, as long as I've had this show and for as long as I've been in the media, support candidates who actually understand what government means in America and that we, the people, have control over our government. So what compelled you out of this entire story? I mean, I'm sure you didn't, when you first started this business, didn't think, okay, this is what's going to happen. But what compelled you to go that step further and now run for Congress?
You said part of it right there. And over the past, I've always paid attention to politics. I got interested in politics at a fairly young age, and I sort of waned and waxed with interest where I would forget about it for a while. But over the past few years, I have been forced, along with many Americans, to really pay attention and to really start to see what's going on, because it's gotten to the point where politics affects your life whether you want it to or not. And I think that's due to the rapid expansion of government that we've seen, especially over the past 2 years. But I've traveled the country because of this, speaking to people around, from everywhere from New Jersey to California and everywhere in between, as a result of our national attention. I've spoken to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people at this point. And, people are looking how they want to know how to fix this. And what I have said is that we need to be involved. You can't just show up every 2 to 4 years at the ballot box and vote for the person on your team and assume that they're going to do the right thing. It doesn't work like that, because you wind up with two establishment picks, whether it's a rhino or a Democrat. They're two birds of the same feather, and the real people who should be in politics are not getting the opportunity to run, or are not able to run because they don't have the backing early enough to break through that establishment wall. And I've been encouraging people to get involved in their community and to break this cultural problem that we have, where politicians have made this a career and not a service to the community. And I think that's a fundamental flaw. We're going to keep getting the same crappy results when we keep putting people who look at politics as a career and a way to get extremely wealthy and to become powerful and influential in society. It's a service. It always was a service. It should always be a service. You should be rewarded for good service, but you shouldn't be catapulted into the elite class of society with backdoor deals and all of these nasty things, because if you approach politics like that, you're not serving the interest of the people. No matter how much you pretend to, you're serving the interests of the people that keep you in power, that keep you getting elected, that give you that big donor money, that have done those political favors for you. And we need to get people in politics who are not interested in long-term careers, but are interested in getting involved in their community, doing the best that they can, and leaving the door open for the next man or woman who wants to fill their shoes.
Yeah, so well said. Yeah, I mean, so well said because, and I think that especially over the last, 4 years, 5 years or so, the conservatives and the average Americans who love this country and understand those principles are waking up not just to the difference between conservative versus liberal, but also the difference between conservatives and the establishment Republicans. And one of the things that I have been championing so hard on this show is to support candidates like you who have the grassroots but are really up against the establishment picks, because the National RNC wants to pick their winners and losers. They want to make sure that people on the GOP ticket are people who will go along with, and I was just actually saying this yesterday to Kathy Barnett, who's running for U.S. Senate from Pennsylvania, where she was saying, that she's running up against the exact same thing. And I was telling her, I call them the McMorons, McDaniel, McCarthy, and McConnell, who are all trying to just say, okay, if you want to be on this team, you are going to have to be a yes man. And that is not what America is all about at all. And so I'm really grateful to see people like you who are standing up and saying, I'm not just running against the Democrats, I'm running directly against the establishment Republicans who are not serving the interests of the American people. So how is your campaign going? When is your primary? And, do you have anyone in the primary, and how optimistic are you?
Well, we're very optimistic.
Okay.
I wouldn't undertake something that I didn't think was a winnable battle, and I'm very glad that it's going to be an uphill battle. There was some redistricting that just went on here in New Jersey, and the third district went from pretty much a split vote to about 10% in Biden's favor. So I'm actually looking forward to a tough fight because I think that's where I'm most valuable. The campaign's going really well so far. We've sort of been doing fly by night because I don't want to play the establishment game. So we're not. We announced late. We jumped in late. We're not taking part in any of the county convention systems where you sort of cater to the GOP and beg them for the head nod to get on the first line of the ballot, because we're in a good position where we don't need that. We can run off the line, and because of what happened at Attilas and the national attention that we got, my name is more recognizable than anybody's on the ballot. So placement doesn't matter. We can talk policy, and we don't have to cater to the GOP for that spot. Of course, they don't like that. So immediately upon announcing, we got criticism from both Andy Kim and the Democrats and Bob Healy and the Do Nothing Republicans here in New Jersey. So, it's fun because when you're not running to be a politician long term, you don't necessarily have to play by the same rules as them. So we're having some fun with the campaign, and we're just going to do it the real way. We're going to do it the right way. These guys have a lot of money. Both Andy Kim and Bob Healy have tons of money. So we're going to raise just enough to beat them. We don't have to match them. We don't have to spend big donor money. We're a grassroots campaign. We're going to stay a grassroots campaign. In our first week after announcement, we pulled in $50,000 just from regular donors all across the country. And that's how we're going to keep it, because those are the people that we want to answer to.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And that's exactly, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We have a primary in June, and we're excited about it, but we're gonna make these people uncomfortable by doing things that they don't normally do. We're not going to take part in the mudslinging and the slander. We'll defend ourselves when we need to, but I want to debate. So I'm going to host debates all throughout the district, and I'm going to invite both Bob Healy and Andy Kim when I get to the general election. And if they don't want to show up and talk politics in front of people, then I'll host town halls with their cardboard cutouts.
Nice. Just put the empty podium and be like, look, they didn't even show up.
Because that's what this is about. It's people want to be heard, and they're not being heard. So it's time for politicians to cut the crap, the slander commercials and the this and the that. Get into the districts, get into where your residents are, your constituents, and the people that you're supposed to serve, and listen to them and give them good answers, not scripted little videos or commercials. Let's talk policy right here on the floor,
Yeah.
just like we would if we were elected officials.
Yeah. And this is disrupting the status quo of how the two parties actually need each other in order to continue with how they've been able to just continue their establishment picks and their elitism and their nods and saying, okay, you have to play by our rules. And I love this. I love that there are campaigns that are truly grassroots like you that are saying, we're going to go in for the right reasons. We're going to disrupt that status quo, and we're going to truly be the candidate that is saying we don't need any of that. And the more people that do that, and also I think the more voters that see that there are people like you, Ian, that are doing that, are going to get encouraged and actually say we can make a difference in our government again, and we can actively take back our country from the establishment elites on the left and the right. So I wish you a lot of success. Where can people find your campaign, donate to you? And of course, I follow you on Twitter, on social media, so I'd encourage everyone else to do that as well. And how can they donate to you?
So the campaign website is iansmithforcongress.com. That's spelled all the way out, no letters in there, or excuse me, no numbers in there. Ian Smith for Congress. We'll have a full site built out this week. Right now, we just have a volunteer sign up and a donation link, but we'll have issues and all sorts of other things to discuss on the website as well to keep people informed about events that are going on with the campaign. And then you can follow along on social media. That's where I'm most active. Ian Smith Fitness. That's on every platform you could possibly think of.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Ian. And I am just so incredibly proud of you for standing up. And I think that is such an encouragement to everyone in America to see that there are people like you who are willing to stand up and say no, even at extreme personal cost. I mean, these are the ways that we fight back against petty tyranny. And this is the way that we make sure that we protect freedom for the next generation. So thank you for everything that you're doing. And it's an honor to have you on the show, and look forward to speaking with you again soon.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Right now, Mike Lindell is having an incredible deal, and he's calling it the sale of the year. So for a limited time, you'll receive 60% off the Giza Dream Sheets that come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. You'll receive a set for as low as $39.99. I have these dream sheets. They're kind of awesome. I still love my slippers though, but you can use the promo code Jenna on all MyPillow product, not just the dream sheets, not just the MyPillow, not just the slippers, not just the robes, but even the towels, everything else. So for a limited time with any purchase, you will receive Mike's soft cover book for free when you use promo code Jenna. I've read his book. I told you, his testimony is so amazing, from crack addict to CEO. It's truly, absolutely a God story. And we all have stories of how God has intervened in our lives and has hopefully compelled us to accept his free gift of salvation and to start on a path of truth and to embrace the truth of who God is and how much he loves us. And, this book is amazing. Mike is amazing how much he's willing to stand firm, not just in the political sphere, but also with Christian truth, the word of God. And you're going to love this book. So go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use promo code Jenna. And along with this offer, you will also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. So go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-564-8475. Use the promo code Jenna. That's JENNA. Vaccines have not eliminated the Chinese Fauci virus, so we all need extra protection for our immune systems. My friends at Centurion Labs have combined 5 key ingredients to defend your immune system against allergies, cold, the flu, and even the coronavirus. It's called Centurion Defender, and it incorporates vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, copper, and quercetin in just one capsule. No more swallowing 10 pills a day or not taking supplements because the individual cost is just too high. So take one Defender with breakfast and one with dinner, and keep living your life. Just like the Centurions of Rome led by example and held themselves to the highest possible standards, Centurion Labs has dedicated the last 15 years to research and develop safe, effective, and affordable healthcare products made in the USA that you can trust. For a limited time, listeners of this show can save 20% off their first order of Centurion Defender. Visit centurionlabs.com/Jenna and use the promo code JENNA. Defend your health today with Centurion Defender. That's centurionlabs.com/Jenna and the promo code Jenna. Centurion Labs, that's with an S, centurionlabs.com/JENNA.